Before we get started, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let us explain.
Anchor has the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or computer.
When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more.
It is everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
And best of all, Anchor is totally free.
Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
George.
Gabe?
No, my name is also George. I'm you from a different universe. Why would you call me Gabe?
You look suspiciously like Gabe.
No.
Plus, Gabe is always running out of breath.
Oh, good for him. His cardio must be great. But no, you can call me George 3 if you want. It doesn't matter. I have a very important mission that I was sent here to tell you.
What is it?
You're still doing the podcast, right?
I mean, yeah, of course.
Searching 5 MacGuffin?
No, it's 4. We have 4 hosts.
Searching 4 Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Wait, who's our 5th host?
I can't tell. Do you really want to know?
No.
Okay. His name is Javier.
Oh, that's gonna burn now.
But anyways, it doesn't matter. I was sent here to tell you something super important.
We couldn't get a girl?
You're still hung up on that?
Oh, okay, what is it?
The fate of the world depends on this. You need to get as many followers as you can on your social media platforms for the podcast.
Oh, do I have to?
Yes, you have to.
Why?
Because if people don't follow the show, you don't make enough money. And if you don't make enough money, everybody in this world will die.
Wait, what? I mean, I don't really care about the money stuff, but I don't want anybody to die.
Exactly. So I need you to push social media for
It's S4M podcast.
It's such a weird name. Anyways, but you have to get more people to follow you.
I feel like this escalated quickly. How does the fate of the world depend on it?
It doesn't matter, and we don't have time.
But you had time to tell me about Javier?
Because he's an important... You have 4 people. We have 5. I don't understand how you can do it with 4 people.
Okay. So I need to tell our listeners or viewers to subscribe, like, and comment on S4M Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on the Spotify episodes, if applicable to their platform.
That is exactly correct. But you have... Wait.
It feels dirty, though.
You have listeners here?
Yeah, what? How do they consume the show in your world?
I mean, it's viewers. It's always viewers.
Oh, we just joke around. We don't even have video here.
Are you serious?
If you donate to us in the show description, we will have enough money to buy cameras and turn this into a video podcast. So in the meantime, please support the show. Welcome back
To another episode
Of
Searching for MacGuffin.
with your hosts, George.
George 2.
George 3.
And Link.
Today's episode, Moments in... Oh, no, that's not the name.
that's not the
Oh, my bad. Oh, in another timeline, in another universe.
that
was the title.
Yeah.
title.
Moments of Madness in the Multiverse.
Why is that the title?
We saw everything everywhere all at once again.
Yep. Because there's
That's
no
a lot of
other
information
multiverse
to take in.
movie out.
Everything, everywhere, all in such a short amount of time.
You know, I like to multitask.
Nice.
All right. Full disclosure, we're here to talk about the newest Marvel film.
Everything,
Doctor-
everywhere, all at
Yeah,
once.
there you go. That's it.
No, that's a Pixar movie.
Oh, but it's still a Disney movie, though, right?
But it's a
Yeah.
multiverse of Pixar.
Half of the movies.
No, it's a
half of the-
multiverse of Disney.
Instead of a rat, it's a Riku.
Whoa.
Half of the movies that come out are Disney movies, so
Okay.
by some.
That's very true.
That's true. At this point, everything is a Disney movie. Avatar is a Disney movie, right?
Yep.
What about that?
We're in
trailer?
purgatory.
Okay. So you're suffering?
Dan is just, well, yeah.
Okay. We'll get to that. So In another time, in another place, we're talking about something else. But here, we're talking about this film, which is interesting because I think the story of this film, we're going to talk a little bit about it without spoiling, and then we'll let you guys who haven't gotten a chance to see it, which if you haven't seen the newest Marvel movies within 72 hours, what do you even
What are you
li-
doing?
Yeah, what do you live
It's
for?
fair game.
I mean, maybe you're working the Formula One.
That's true.
That's a good
That's a good
point.
point.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that is, yeah,
Wow,
that's a good point.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, but if you're not working the Formula
Well,
One,
yeah, what are you
what's
doing?
wrong?
Yeah,
What's wrong with
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously the only excuse.
If you're working the Miami Grand Prix, then you have a pass.
Okay.
Is that when is that? Is that
It's
like
today.
a whole weekend thing? Because I have no idea.
Well, yeah, it starts Friday. They have a practice. I'm pretty sure. Then Saturday they have qualification.
They
and
practice?
Sundays the
They
race.
practice driving cars? How's it?
Yeah, they tracked to get used to the track, especially
okay.
since this is a new track. So.
Right. Oh, because it's not like NASCAR where you're like just like
driving
driving in a
left,
circle.
driving
yeah.
left.
Yeah, because you don't have to practice for that, right?
I don't think
This
so.
actually takes
Maybe.
skill.
Yeah, it's actually hard work and dedication. Sorry, Jeff Gordon, the only NASCAR driver
Just-
I know.
What about Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Just dissing.
Was his father-
NASCAR
But no one
drivers.
talks about Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Yeah,
Isn't he the one that died?
What, was he good? Was the father any good?
Isn't it?
I don't know.
Isn't there someone that died while racing?
I'm sure lots of
I'm
people.
sure, yeah.
No, but he was like-
that
he was
list
like-
is pretty long.
No, he was like a legend. I thought that's why I thought it was.
There's a lot of
Ayrton
legends.
Senna.
I have no idea, man.
That guy was a legend.
The only racing I like is Mario Kart.
I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole.
So today's episode is about
Garfield
Formula
kart.
One racing versus NASCAR and why Formula One is so much better.
Formula One, then and now.
Does NASCAR have a Netflix show?
Yeah, they do actually. I heard that there's like I don't
The
know.
Hot
is that-
Wheels show.
Oh no, that's a Formula One show. My bad.
Oh.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Disney has
Formula
a
One show's
Disney
very
has a
good.
Yeah, I
Drive-
heard that is like amazing.
That's what got me into Formula One, actually.
Oh.
Drive to
yeah.
Survive
That's
is
what got
really
many
good.
people into Formula One.
Yeah. Well, I heard that that's the goal. AEW is making a new like behind the scenes show, and that's their goal. It's like for it to be the
Rose to
Drive.
the Top?
yeah.
Season 2?
No,
Let's
not that.
go.
Not that. Okay. So if we haven't lost everyone in this introduction,
I think I lost myself.
Yeah,
I
for
forgot
the-
what we were talking about.
for those of you still with us,
Thank you for being with us still.
that was so heartfelt.
Yeah, sweet whispers.
Non-spoiler time. What'd
Okay.
you guys
Yes,
think about the
non-spoiler
Multiverse
review.
of Madness?
I think I have to unpack it before I give any like real feelings about it. It was a movie that Marvel put out this week that had characters in it and that advanced the plot. That's my review.
Okay, number out of 10.
I don't think I can do
Ooh.
it.
Not yet?
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dan?
How many times do you have to watch it to do that?
No, I think
Um,
7.
I think I'm in the point where this episode is
that's your
therapy.
number?
This episode is therapy, and by the end of it, I hope to have a score.
Okay.
I have to talk my way through it.
Okay.
Okay.
Is your number 7, Gabe?
Is my number 7?
Yeah, you said 7.
7? Like a 7.5 maybe, I think.
Okay.
Ooh.
We'll see.
Whatever Danny
well,
says, I agree.
That
I'm
doesn't.
giving
That's
it
not helpful for the show.
But it's probably going to
like
happen.
like a 5.5.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Never
Alright.
mind.
I trust Dan
See, but-
blindly. No, not that. Not-
See, but I feel like I'm much harsher on my rating than you guys because again we're still arguing about Tenet.
I was still.
Yeah.
I was gonna give it a 6.5. So we got the 0.5 part right.
Okay. I was feeling a 7. But I don't know if that's gonna go up and down. By
I
the
think
end
it's
of-
gonna go down for you. I think we're gonna talk about it. And he's like, "This is so."
Okay. If
But
you guys,
I'm not a fan.
Okay, if our listeners saw the movie and you enjoyed it, congratulations. I'm proud of you,
Woohoo!
and I'm happy, and that's fine. I don't think it's a bad film. I don't think it's a
Not
bad
at all.
film. I just don't think it's a particularly good film.
It's not a. What is a bad film's like rating for you, Dan?
In the 2s and 3s,
What?
I
That-
use the
what?
entire scale.
That's a terrible film. That's like I don't
I
want to.
use
You know,
I use from 1 to 10.
you know what? I knew Dan in high school, and that makes sense now for some of the stuff he turned in. If his goal was, if his goal was like a 5.5,
That's pretty good, man.
I'm aiming for that 60% range. You know.
Because I feel like no one uses the 1 to 5, but that's not necessarily.
Yeah, I've used the one recently. It's called Morbius.
We talked about how Morbius like challenged my notion of what a 0 is.
Dude, like I had a friend who was like,
I'd give it a 2 or a 3. And I'm like, that's high, bro. That's high. I was getting irrationally upset. I was like, you a 3?
I was wondering if Morbius was 17 minutes long, if that would make it a better or worse movie.
Worse.
I think there's
Oh,
only
no,
17
actually, I
minutes
don't
worth-
know.
I think there's only 17
See?
minutes worth
You
of
see?
plot.
You're right. I thought about it. I'm like, dang.
No, you could have just made it like a short film.
Yeah. You would have been like, oh,
YouTube
that was a
clip.
bad short film, but at least, I can eat now.
I'm pretty sure a student filmmaker could have made a better movie.
It should have been a documentary.
Just following
short-
Jared Leto.
a short
No,
documentary.
I don't want to see some of the things Jared Leto does.
A short documentary about, a man becoming a vampire.
I got that already.
In Doctor Strange.
No, Dracula.
No spoilers.
Oh.
Okay, it does not become a vampire at any point in the film. That's
Blade
fake.
shows up.
Fake. We should just fake
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
He turns into Count Chocula.
the non-spoiler. The non-spoiler version of this conversation is us just throwing fake spoilers. Oh, oops. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no.
Nah, but I mean that's pretty much what actually ended up happening.
That
It's
is
just
true.
Like, it's just fake spoilers everywhere.
Going into the movie.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I have a sense that we are prolonging talking about this movie. Are we
Yeah.
afraid
I'm
to?
scared.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what we thought very briefly going into the film. What were your expectations? What did you hear? So try to put yourself in that mindset before the film, and then we'll go into what we actually experienced watching it.
Yeah.
Wait, doesn't that spoil the movie? Ty?
No, because
No.
try to put yourself in the mindset of what you expected, what you had heard, because we haven't had this conversation with our listeners in a sense. So some of them have no idea what to expect in this film, and some of them have very clear ideas of what their expectations are, which we may have also had. But we'll go into it when we start, going into spoilers of what actually happened.
Yeah. I thought this movie was gonna be Doctor Strange kind of going into different universes and
Right.
and we see a bunch of old characters that have been in comic book movies before.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that's kind of what the big thing was gonna be.
Yeah.
Like, oh, a bunch of cameos, awesome, sweet.
And we had talked about that on an earlier episode.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was a monthly or... Yes, I think
it was a monthly.
Yeah, I think it was our first monthly when we got the Doctor Strange trailer.
Yeah,
right?
because it was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and we were talking about there's rumors of this and that, and we tried to avoid going into deep details. But yeah, we've established historically that that was February, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of January, February. That was our expectations. Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people.
Because I think we were still on that No Way Home hype train.
Mhm.
And so that opened up so many possibilities.
Yeah.
And you hear stuff obviously Sam Raimi is directing the film, so it's he has that connection to the original Spider-Man movies. And to have a director like that back, it'd be interesting to see what he does with Strange. So I was expecting just a bunch of cameos. I did feel like people were gonna say this movie was gonna be weird, so I wasn't really expecting it to be too similar to the first Doctor Strange.
Okay. Yeah.
I was expecting a bit of a different film, but I guess what I hadn't been prepared for was how Sam Raimi this movie was gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that I had heard for a couple of days prior to.
Yeah. Thanks to IGN for giving us a heads up. This will be probably the only time you hear us thank IGN for anything. But yeah, they kind of let us know.
And
I like IGN.
Yes, we know you do.
you do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's always like, I love their review of G.I. Joe.
I've never seen those movies.
Their trailer. I think the trailers too did a number on this.
I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
After watching it, and they put something there that kind of spoils it.
I do agree. You know what?
And I was like, "What? Why would you show that?"
and I thought that
You see that, in my opinion, you kind of know who that is.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I was
so
mad about that.
Marvel's usually super good. Marvel and Star Wars, I think, are super good at not spoiling things. They'll show you a sizzle. They'll sometimes misdirect you,
Yeah.
which can be a double-edged sword. Because then if it's something you anticipate and you want to watch and that doesn't happen, then you have questions. But I think they have a pretty good of like whetting your appetite, but not giving you the meat and potatoes. And now, I felt actually before, again, putting myself in the mindset before the film, I was like, ooh, I think they showed us too much. But then I trusted them. I was like, nah, it can't be. It can't be, because if it is, then they wouldn't show us, right? Because they never show us. But yeah, I think
twice.
Yeah, they did.
They dropped the ball twice.
Yep, I think they spoiled the movie on several occasions. in the trailer.
That's why I don't watch trailers.
I agree. And I couldn't avoid the first one. I didn't see the second trailer. You guys saw the second trailer before the movie?
I watched it
No.
after.
Okay, I watched it after too, and they double spoiled
That's what.
it.
No,
Yeah.
that's what got me.
Yeah.
That's what got me to delete Twitter, because when I went on Twitter, that was the first the second. There's like a clip in that second trailer
okay.
that where it pops up and you see a character. I'm just like, you see the back of a character. And I'm like, why?
I don't know why they showed that.
I was
that
like,
was
why would you
really
show
weird
that?
choice.
Like, it wasn't teased at all. Like, I mean, you kind of maybe like think it might happen,
Yeah.
but it's not confirmation or anything. When you put that in the trailer,
I wonder if it was a desperation thing. I wonder if they were afraid it wasn't going to have the same hype
I think
or
it has
turn
to
out.
be. It has
Did you
to
think
be,
they
but
knew?
I think it
Yeah.
might be.
I think it has to be. I think I think reviews are coming and people are getting worried.
Yeah. That was because it was out internationally a few days before, which is why I got offline completely.
Yeah, at that point I deleted Twitter because I heard like massive spoilers were there,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a friend who, I mean, I'll get into it later when we talk about spoilers, but man, if I had if I had that big spoiler ruined for me,
Oh yeah.
I would have been pissed. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
I would have been mad.
Is
It was everywhere
Is it
too.
the same guy that spoiled the other movie for us?
No.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. I think if you haven't watched the film at this point, yeah, they should go watch the film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start
Email.
getting into spoilers.
This is
now.
your warning. This is your final warning. It's we're about to get into spoilers. We're gonna talk about every detail.
Everywhere, everything, all at
everything.
once.
Also, you should watch WandaVision before watching.
Oh, yeah,
this
yeah,
movie,
if
or
you
else
haven't
might be a
seen-
little bit confused.
You should probably watch WandaVision, Doctor Strange 1.
You don't have to watch What If.
watch
though.
What
Yeah,
If.
you don't have to watch what
Bro.
if anyone's telling you have to,
I'm sorry.
you'll understand.
You guys, yeah, Gabriel made me watch What If.
I'm sorry.
Okay, okay.
2 days or 3 days.
We
before.
thought.
Because
We
yeah,
thought that was
and
gonna
even
be the
even
case.
They
That's
ba-
something
they
I
bait
wasn't.
and switched us.
That's terrible. That's
Yeah.
something I was upset about in the film.
Okay, I'm gonna defend this.
but you
point.
know what? I don't mind it
Yeah.
because I got to see T'Challa as Star Lord,
Yeah,
and that was amazing.
that episode's great.
What?
I think that's my favorite episode.
T'Challa as what? You know,
I gotta rewatch it.
Listen, if you watch What If, you're gonna be prepared mentally for concepts that are introduced in this film,
Yeah.
and you're gonna understand and
yeah,
digest them
exactly,
better.
Yeah,
But it's not gonna
It's
directly.
not gonna pay
connect.
off.
Yeah, it's not. Well, the show's not bad. The
it's
show's-
not,
it
man.
isn't.
I really enjoyed
You know what? The
it.
show might be like this movie, a little uneven. I said it. I'm sorry. Go watch the movie. Enjoy. Goodbye. Or those of you who haven't seen it.
You know, many people complain about like Chris Pratt and how he should be replaced by someone else. I personally love Chris Pratt, and I don't think he should be replaced. But if we are gonna replace Chris Pratt, he can only be replaced by Chadwick Boseman.
Okay.
Mm.
You know, there's a
Well,
couple of problems with
Okay,
your scenario.
so- Not according to Doctor
Man,
Strange.
because that was so good.
Not according to Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I guess.
I want to live in that universe where
All right, spoiler talk.
Welcome to the spoiler zone.
2, 1.
With your host, George.
George.
No, I thought you were going to go
I'm
the
gonna
real way this time.
George 3.
and so T'Challa as Star Lord was so good.
Okay. We didn't
Alright,
do
so
it.
where do
What
we even start with this?
Deadpool.
was not in the movie. to
Dang
be
it.
Was
clear.
not in it.
That was a trick for anyone who hasn't seen it and stayed.
So
we caught
Tom
you.
Cruise.
Go back.
So I think talking about like the trailers, right, that I watched. So we
Mhm.
watched the movie, and then yesterday I was at a restaurant, Shinju. I went to Shinju again.
Shinju.
Shout out Shinju,
Shout out
72nd,
Shinju.
88,
You
Miami,
go.
Florida.
Sponsor us. Woo.
So I went to Shinju, and I'm eating with some friends, and I see the trailer on the TV, and they show Xavier's hand in his green and his yellow wheelchair,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why would you
Oh,
show
they
that?
show the yellow wheelchair?
Yeah, they show
I
the.
didn't see
In the
that.
first one, they don't.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure who you were talking about. You
And
mentioned
it looks
some-
like he's standing up, so you're like, I'm
you
not sure.
mentioned that they like you see someone's back. I don't know who you were talking about because that's I only saw that clip.
Captain
of
Tom Cruise.
Captain Carter when she's,
Captain
when
Carter?
she's
Tom
fighting.
Cruise.
Like they show the jetpack and everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
why would you show this in a
Bro.
TV spot? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and I think the reason why I think they did this was because everyone had these theories that we were gonna get so many cameos, right?
Yeah.
Tom Cruise has been as one as
That was the
being.
main one. That's the one I wanted.
That's the
to
one I
see.
was. That's what I was looking for.
wanted.
You
Tom
know,
Cruise
I think
as
that's a
Iron Man.
double-edged sword too, but we'll unpack that.
That's true.
But I think everyone had those high expectations,
Mm-hmm.
and they knew they weren't going to deliver those expectations.
Yeah.
So they had to show something like
Be
that
like,
in
yeah,
the
we do
trailers.
have.
'Cause, like, "Oh, we do have.
You're
these,"
right,
like,
sort of.
because once they started showing the reviews, like, oh, people aren't going to like this.
Well, my thing is
But
like
we
I
have
think,
to spoil it a bit so they think that what
Mm.
they think is going to happen is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the cameos we got, with a good story behind it, I think I would have been more
Yeah.
than satisfied.
I kind of wish the cameos would have been more substantial. I feel like you could skip the entire sequence and it doesn't really.
Well, yeah, that's the
Add
problem.
or
It has
take away
nothing
from
to
the
do
main
with
Doesn't
story.
change
plot.
anything.
I think we called this episode "Moments of Madness in the Multiverse" because I genuinely feel that this movie is just moment to moment to moment, and you don't really need all of them to get to where we end up. It's such a it's moving the story from set piece to set piece rather than like a direct narrative.
I agree, but I still have fun.
Yeah.
Moments were fun, yeah.
Are we unpacking the cameos first? I guess.
Okay, yeah,
all
sure.
right.
Yeah, should we
I
start
don't know
with
what
that?
they were thinking, showing the back of Charles's head
Yeah.
in the first trailer
With his voice and
in the
everything.
Super Bowl.
And then they try to pretend like it wasn't like Patrick Stewart was like, oh, people have been impersonating my voice for you. Come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
There's only
like,
there's only
I've
room
seen
for
the back of your
one
head,
bald
bro.
man in the MCU, and
that
you know
sounds
that's
like
you.
It's crazy
Patrick
to me.
Stewart.
That's just like that one would have been way more impactful if I would have seen it the
Imagine,
first time
yeah,
in the
because
theater.
you knew it was happening, so you're like, this is cool, but you're not. Your mind isn't blown.
They
Oh, see, my mind was blown because I didn't watch any trailers,
Oh, okay.
so I didn't know he was going to be in the movie.
Awesome.
They usually don't. They usually. Oh, that's my mistake. They didn't show it during the Super Bowl. They came out during the Super Bowl, but
It
they didn't
doesn't
show it on
matter.
TV. But
Some things are too tempting.
I just don't understand. Like, they don't usually have missteps like that, man.
They don't. They
Like,
don't.
It
It's
was
a differently
weird choice.
change. In
They were
alignment.
They were saving the one. Like, you know what you could have shown? You could have shown, I think, Maria Rambo.
Yeah.
I think you could
agree.
have shown that one.
You know what? In fact, I think they should have
And
because
more though.
when they say Captain Marvel, at least in my theater, which that first night was a weird experience, but they were like,
That was
yeah, and then she like comes in and it's Maria Rambo, and
And-
everybody's like, oh,
No one cheered for me.
yeah. They were like, yeah, Captain Marvel, which I was like, oh, cool, she's getting a reception, and then they were immediately deflated because I don't know if they were like, oh, it's not Brie Larson, or if they were like, I don't know who this is, because I could generally see
just
like.
didn't
Or
see
her
Captain
daughter,
Marvel.
Who?
right?
Who? Which Captain Marvel is this?
Yeah.
You kind of
That
need
would
an encyclopedia, like a Marvelpedia, to like start looking up what does all of this mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what George was referring to was that weird moment we all had in the movie
Which George?
theaters. Oh,
George.
sorry, George one.
Yeah, you
Okay.
got to remember their
I'm
number.
sorry,
I prefer George Prime, but thank you.
George Prime.
Amazon Prime. That's just
Optimus Prime.
As we were in the movie theaters, all of us, they were people cheering every time Wanda did
bro.
something.
Wanda
Well, I guess
stands.
should we go into the story?
And that
first?
was, and
Wanda
at-
stands
I feel like we
filled.
should, but we just want to like gravitate
vent
toward
about
the
it.
moments. So let's unpack
okay,
this,
yeah.
and then we'll go back.
and
to
at
the
first,
beginning.
at first when you first see Wanda doing her thing, like,
Yeah.
okay, it's cool, yeah, clap for her. It's the first time we see her, super powerful,
Yeah.
right? But then after everything she said, every moment, like everything she did, it was just clapping,
Oh man.
and it
that was-
ruined the movie for me.
I realized
It didn't ruin it.
it
That's
was
just
not.
getting annoying.
It was annoying.
yeah.
But I didn't realize how annoying it was until I saw
Until
it
the
for a
second
second
viewing?
time.
Yeah,
and
and
no
I-
one was clapping unnecessarily, and I'm like, "Holy crap, that was really bad in the first one."
Yeah,
You know what's funny? In the second one, I kind of braced myself for it. I'm like, here we go
You
again.
just clenched your
And it was
together the
cool.
whole time.
It was quiet. And
It's
I was
like
like, wow.
I felt like we were talking about these moments, right? They
Uh-huh.
were clapping at the wrong moments.
correct.
Like, yeah, so that's what was bothering me. But then we watched it the second time, like Gabriel said, they were clapping at the right moment. Like, the audience was a good audience. They
Uh-huh.
knew when to clap. And that's what we didn't have.
Which
in
is
first
weird
audience.
because you usually expect the optimal experience
In the
the
first
night
one,
the movie
right?
drops, right?
Yeah.
But with listening, we're not watching at night. 3 p.m. is we're watching with some randos.
That's
man.
trying. That's trying. That's true. What is it? Are they like a younger audience? I didn't look around. I didn't see who was there.
I think they were younger.
Yeah.
They probably were. Yeah.
Probably
Sounds-
because
Well,
you
they
got to
were
be
all-
out of school. Most people aren't out of work, right?
Wanda stands, man.
Yeah.
They skip school. I gotta see my girl Wanda. It was so weird, man. Like Wanda's out here murdering people.
And
She's
you're
the
clapping.
bad guy.
And you're
and,
clapping.
Wanda is the villain of the movie.
The
and
one-
she's
yeah.
killing people,
like,
and they're
like,
like,
she literally was about
"Whoa!"
to sacrifice a child.
Okay, to the point too that I think it obscured my interpretation of Wanda's journey in the film because I was like, "Oh, Wanda's evil now," and I don't think till the second time where I was like, "Oh, they're really hammering home that like she's not in control, that the Darkhold has a hold of her." You know what I mean? But it was just so much like we love Wanda, that I was just like, well, is that what we do? We love Wanda now. You know what I mean? Because it was almost like the audience reaction, like colored my interpretation of what was going on.
It's
Like,
ju- yeah, no, it's
She's
just,
being controlled, right? So why are you cheering?
Why are you
her
cheating?
on?
That's not the real Wanda.
Yeah.
Nah,
That's
I
not
don't,
the
I don't
Wanda
think they get that. I think
That's
just,
not-
That's
they
not
see
the
Wanda,
Wanda
they're
from
like,
WandaVision.
Yeah. I also thought it was a weird moment when like she finally gets to the big castle and like all the, I don't know, monsters,
Trolls?
Yeah,
we never even get context to what they are.
yeah. They,
Trolls World
they're
Tour.
just like, oh, who knows what's here, and here they are, and they kneel, they like bow down to her, and we got a rousing standing ovation, and I was like, is this something I'm not aware of? Is this a
She's
comic
like
book
the
moment?
Dark
What is?
Lord, and
Yeah,
they're
like,
like,
yeah, she's gonna sit on her throne. Clearly, our goal
like
is to defeat her, right?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like everybody, like apparently knew the prophecy, and I'm over here just like, what's happening right now?
Yeah. Do we have to deep dive WandaVision again? I don't know.
Like-
Did I miss something?
Like that moment was like people were cheering almost as loud as like when we saw in Spider-Man when we saw like a bunch of like the different like all three Spider-Man together. I'm like,
Honestly.
what is happening?
yeah. So Dan, you wanted to go back to the beginning. You want to start from the story?
yeah. I mean, I think one of the biggest fake out is Wanda being the villain instead of being Doctor Strange's companion throughout the movie.
Mhm.
I don't think any of us had any idea who the villain was gonna be.
And we had posited, like we had questioned, asked ourselves, who do you think it is?
I thought it was gonna be
I thought it was gonna be Tom Cruise.
the
Not serious.
I thought it was gonna be
That's
the-
only in real life.
Doctor
He's in
Strange
the
from What
Chris-
If.
He's not.
Yeah,
Doctor
I thought
Strange
it was gonna
from-
be Evil
I thought that-
Strange.
yeah.
I thought it was gonna be an Evil Strange. Some people told me Nightmare. You know, some people told me Shumagorath.
Wait, so was it because
Listen, that was me just manifesting
at
it
the end
one
of
day.
No Way Home,
Man, this movie really isn't for you, Dan, huh?
at the way of No Way
No.
Home, we get that little trailer, that little sneak peek of
Yeah.
this movie,
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness. And when they showed that other Doctor Strange, everyone thought it was the one from What If.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So was it not? Was
They
it
meant
not,
to. No,
they
it
meant
wasn't.
to, but it was never meant to be.
Man, that trailer was fine. I like that.
Exactly.
trailer.
Yeah, that
was
trailer
fine.
didn't show.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
showed that, and it's okay to show Doctor Strange from the What If because, but it wasn't him.
But it wasn't.
But it
him.
wasn't
Yeah, so it was a good.
But
bait.
So
Yeah, he
that's
wasn't
another thing. It
wrong.
was like, okay, Captain Carter, right? We met her and we went on a journey with her and What If, and we're like, how cool would it be if she was real? She is now, but that's not her either. It's got to be another Captain
Captain
Carter,
Carter,
exactly
exactly.
like her, but from a different.
Which I
timeline.
think is
not as jacked.
probably a problem. This we'll talk about later, I guess,
Yeah.
towards the
The
end. but-
Ultron army. There's an Ultron army similar to the one we saw in What If, but definitely not from the same. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not from the same.
yeah. So it's like
the
here's-
same. That's the thing. The same universe. Like that's. I feel like that could be a problem going
It's
down. the
getting
line.
very confusing.
Yeah.
No,
Not
it's
confusing,
getting-
but
it's
I-
getting
I
frustrating.
mean, it is confusing, but I think that it's
Because I don't know.
the
who I'm getting.
problem is that it could cheapen.
Yeah, it can
It
cheapen.
can definitely cheapen
Yeah.
whatever characters that we get because it's really just like this isn't the same one that we're connected to, and you can just like basically, oh, I can kill off anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent a tweet to our group chat
Follow.
that basically said, "Why is everyone complaining about deaths in the MCU now that the multiverse is open? They can just bring anyone
back, yeah.
And they said that like a positive thing.
Yeah. No, that's a negative.
And I was like, I don't think they realize that's horrible, because that means death means nothing in the MCU.
Yeah, and that's so true because okay, we're gonna have a conversation much more literally today than we usually do. The name of the show is Searching for MacGuffin, right? And we're always looking for that thing, that either object, that or plot point that drives the narrative forward, the things that we're seeking, right? And this movie has like 3 of them, like literal objects that have no like innate meaning, but it's just something to propel the story along,
yeah.
right? We have the Darkhold, right? Which is like, oh, we need to take the Darkhold. We need to destroy the Darkhold. they do it eventually, and I'm like, okay, cool. The Darkhold's off the map.
Surprise! There's a Darkhold castle.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh, now we're searching for the Darkhold castle.
The Darkhold was a copy.
Yeah. Then there's the anti Darkhold, which
Book of Ashanti.
Book of Ashanti.
Ashanti?
yeah, the Book of Ashanti, the R&B
Ashanti
singer.
or
Yeah.
Ashanti?
Yeah.
That's the
Oh
MacGuffin in
man,
this
Pookie
movie.
got in my head.
The Book of Vashanti, which is literally the epitome of a MacGuffin. You know, the concept is that it doesn't matter what it is as long as it drives the characters. They're like, what is the Book of Ashanti? No, of Vashanti.
It'll give you exactly.
It'll
what
give you what you need. Exactly. It's the solution.
Is it with a V?
I think so.
I thought it was like literally like Ashanti, like the name of the
No,
artist.
I think it's Vashanti. No?
Oh,
Is it Ashanti? I actually thought it was Ashanti.
See, this is why
I
we
thought
need
it was my name.
subtitles.
Yeah.
Give me
As-
subtitles in
Asante?
movies,
well,
please.
we got
Maybe
subtitles
it
when we
was
spoke in
Asante.
Spanish.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
And now it's the other moment. I watch the movie starts. It's in Spanish. I start thinking, did I buy the right ticket? Why is this in Spanish?
The Book of Vishanti. That's what it's called.
Is
Vishanti?
Vishanti?
Vishanti, yeah.
That was not clear to me.
Nah, I'm pretty sure they were saying Ashanti.
Yeah, it's
I
They
really
didn't
got
get
it,
the
bro.
memo.
Pookie got in their heads too. So anyway, so yeah, it's like what it will give you everything you need.
I love that's the only thing they ever say about
Yeah,
it.
it's
It'll
like
give the wielder exactly what they need.
exactly. We don't have to explain
Strange,
it.
Strange he doesn't even know what's in the book.
It's like the rabbit foot in Mission Impossible 3. Yeah, he just knows that when he opens it, that's it. The
It'll
movie's
give him
over. No, the movie,
Yeah.
We win.
Yes.
we won.
It's a video game.
We win everything.
Yeah.
That's the end of the MCU.
It's a Mass Effect.
Did
3,
we just
and-
win?
And then the third, and probably the most controversial, not like in a good or bad way, but in like a storytelling way, MacGuffin.
America Chavez.
Oh, Dora the Explorer.
America.
Yeah.
Intergalactic.
Dora the
Explorer.
Yeah.
A new character that we introduce, not as a character, but as a plot point.
I don't think I liked her.
I liked her.
I
don't
liked
like
her.
the actress. I
didn't really like her.
I thought she didn't do too well.
I thought she was
But
fine. I don't think she had
maybe
much
it
to
was
do.
the story.
Yeah.
No,
That-
I thought
She's not a
maybe
character.
we didn't like her because of the
I didn't.
story.
I didn't.
though, 'cause
No, I
she's
didn't
just
like
a
her
plot point.
acting.
I liked it.
Yeah, I thought she was
No, I
fine.
didn't- I thought
She was
thought
like a cute little Hispanic girl. She doesn't really do or say much.
I
I
was
was
telling-
16 years old, bro.
No, I was telling. Cause I didn't think she'd do. I mean, when you're acting with Benedict Cumberbatch and Rachel McAdams,
And you're a plot device.
yeah.
And yeah, and
But-
the story.
But
does
even
him
then, her
no
acting has nothing to do
favor.
with the plot device. I just thought her acting was bad. And I was telling Danny, like, they should have gotten the girl from Sicario, the girl that does Dora, because that girl's actually really good, and she's just Mexican as well.
I think she's Puerto Rican. The
Oh, is she?
the character.
Yeah.
America
Yeah, she is.
Chavez.
Oh, I just get her too.
What? Get who?
Get the
The
girl.
different America Chavez in a different multiverse.
Why don't we get
Give me the Puerto Rican.
America Ferrer?
America Ferrera, Ugly
Yeah.
Betty, yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that actress. I'm sure she's.
But what did she do that was bad? Like, what did you
I
say?
just thought
she's
her
bad?
acting was bad.
Okay,
Like,
give me some
Like
examples.
delivery or
her
what?
delivery, yeah, her delivery wasn't good. I'm like,
On
wow,
what line?
everything. She's like, wow, this is. I don't know. She didn't like it.
Every-
I don't know.
Everywhere.
I think she's underwritten. I think like that character is the epitome of underwritten.
I agree.
Yeah.
She
that's
says
fair.
things like that serve a storyline purpose, and that's it.
But the way she delivered them, like,
Yeah, could be.
Nah, but some of the lines that were written for her were like, that's cheese. Like,
How do you deliver it? You're not a person. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah,
like,
I think that's the problem. I think with a better script, she could have done better. But Link, I think we feel that way because she wasn't able to act.
mhm. She's like, here's some
True.
character bio, and here's some narrative exposition. Like that's what she is. It's not me and you having a conversation. It's you like reading your like profile and like the back of your book. That's what I felt. I was like,
liked
this girl doesn't even have a chance. You know,
I liked her. I thought she was fine.
I thought she was endearing in the end. We're talking about the end again. If you haven't seen it, you've just ruined 30 minutes of the movie. At the end when she's like, you know,
Training?
it was like, oh, this is nice, this is cute and everything, but it's like too little, too late. Like,
Yeah.
Wow, she has a personality.
Exactly.
One of the things,
Movie's over.
one of the things about it, like, and it's not her as an actress. It's again, it's the way that she's written. How she just learns how to control her powers just by like a good pep talk
Man,
from a zombie.
it's
from Batman,
it's
from Zombie
so-
Batman.
Yeah, zombie Batman. It feels so lazy, man. The writing just wasn't there for me. She has like no character arc.
Does anybody feel they can summarize this movie to someone in like 2.5 minutes?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, there's
got
not
you.
enough.
I don't even need 2.5
happens.
minutes.
All right,
Give me
Link's gonna
20
do
seconds,
it.
right?
Link's gonna do it.
Scarlet Witch has baby fever and she's willing to kill for it.
Okay, no, but summarize the entire plot. What happens?
And Doctor Strange has to stop her
How does he stop her?
through the
Ugly
multiverse
Betty.
of madness.
Does he even do it through the multiverse of madness, dude?
You know what? We got too much madness, not enough multiverse.
Yeah?
I wanted more multiverse.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
That's actually true.
What the only thing I knew about this movie is that Doctor Strange and Wanda were gonna go on a journey through multiple universes.
And I think that's what IMDb even still thinks to this day.
It's still, yeah. I sent them a screenshot of IMDb and it's completely wrong.
Because I think that's what it was supposed to be, man. And I think things got changed.
Yeah.
I don't
Things
know
got
what
lost
happened.
along
I
the
think
way.
we got a different movie.
We didn't really visit a ton of multiverses, which I thought was disappointing.
We got a montage of it.
Yeah, we got a montage of it, but that montage, in my opinion, isn't as cool
It's not.
as the montage in Doctor Strange 1, where we go through, like, when he first gets awakened and he's astral projected
Man,
out
that
of his
montage
body.
is beautiful.
That was amazing. And that whole montage sells me on the whole movie. And here, not so much. I thought there were clever moments, the paint, the animated universe, and then some of them are just like time periods, like, okay, a Jurassic period, like a futuristic world,
we're
a
in the
dark, rainy,
40s.
black and white. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't think.
Which, I mean, I appreciated that one because I was like, ooh, Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Spider-Man Noir. But I also think I'm projecting.
The animated one.
Yeah.
The animated one I felt like Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, but I would have
Yeah.
liked to have spent time in some of them.
I would have liked to have had some cameos in those.
Cameos
Yes.
in those, yes.
Yes,
And that's where I
man.
was expecting.
That's what I
the
thought.
Tom Cruise cameo.
Because
as Iron
everybody's
Man.
like, how could all these characters be in the movie? Let's talk about it right now. Who did you hear was going to be in the movie?
Tom Cruise.
Wolverine.
Toby.
Oh, Toby was a big one.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans as
Evans.
the Human Torch.
Yeah.
Right. I heard Legion.
Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool was a big one.
Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Okay, you didn't hear that.
No,
I heard that.
You
Yeah.
did?
No, I
Yeah.
actually heard that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Danny DeVito as Wolverine.
Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine. Jon Snow as Wolverine.
Just 10
was
Wolverine
it
into the
Clint-
Wolverine verse.
Scott Eastwood as Wolverine.
Clint Eastwood as
As
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
A lot of people thought
Old Man
Toby
Logan.
was really going to be in it.
Yeah,
Toby, yeah.
I thought so too.
You mean you have that connection there?
I thought that even if he wasn't in the movie by December, that he would be in the movie
Right?
after No Way Home.
That-
Nah,
honestly, I
wrong
would've-
movie
Yeah.
that he's gonna be in.
Don't. I'm not gonna have expectations
Wrong
anymore.
movie.
What
he's
is he
gonna
going to
be
be
in.
in?
The one
Yeah,
the one that got pushed back.
Oh, across the Spider Verse.
Across
Quantum
the universe,
Mania?
yeah.
Quantum Mania. No, across the Spider-Verse. Yeah,
I don't know anymore.
Sony has them in the pocket. Morbius 2.
That would be a cool idea.
He's too
Yeah.
Not Morbius.
Write this down. Dan said Morbius 2. That would be a cool idea.
I'm going to delete my audio off of that entire part.
We didn't get any of that.
Yeah, which is crazy.
What else?
Well, we got a little bit
I
of
think
it.
there's- I think there's something
You don't think
else.
it's
See,
weird?
but
Okay, go ahead.
so that stuff would not save the movie for
No,
me.
no, it wouldn't have.
Because I see a lot
It
of
would have
people
made it better. People would have like, oh, this is the awesome part.
I think the bulk of it needs to be a good story,
Nah.
regardless.
I think it might have ruined. I not ruined, but I think it might have complicated stuff even more because as much as I think you can disagree with me if you want. I think everyone here likes the idea of the cameos that are in the
Yes.
movie,
Yeah.
but they also make things complicated for this movie and for the MCU going forward. You know,
Should
let's go ahead.
we
you wanna-
talk about
Yeah, unpack it.
that moment?
I
The
think
Illuminati.
I think the direction of the execution of how they did it, I think wasn't my favorite because it doesn't contribute to the story in a way that's like,
Meaningful.
yeah, it does. Like, it's weak. Not weak. It's cheap. Like, there really is nothing. Like, it's awesome to see. Don't get me wrong. I love seeing it.
It's
but,
fan service.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
As far as like looking into from and that's the thing with me. I enjoyed this movie. I had fun, but like with a critical eye, there definitely are certain parts that it's like, oh, that's not my favorite choice, or like that. I don't think that that was a good choice,
Right.
and that could be. But I don't think that necessarily that's the director's. I think it's writing. I think the way that they
I
form
don't
the story.
blame Sam Raimi.
And I mean,
I'm sorry.
I said I don't blame Sam Raimi at
Oh,
all.
okay. I thought you smuttered.
We're-
I don't like Sam
we're,
Raimi.
We're
and
about
I'll
to jump you.
go through this computer and punch you in the face.
No, I like
We're about to
him.
dream walk, bro.
Were you gonna talk about Krasinski specifically, or gonna go
yeah,
through
yeah.
each
Let's
one?
talk
I
about
was
the
just gonna
Illuminati. Let's
go
talk about
through
the
all
Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
through all the
Yeah.
cameos.
Let's
one
start
by
with
one.
that first of all. By the way, the Illuminati. How much do I hate this name, the Illuminati? I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Are you indifferent? Do you like?
I feel
it?
like if Reed, Richard, and Xavier were in a team, they'd be smarter. They'd
be
be
a
smart
better
enough to
name.
not name themselves the Illuminati.
Yeah. So this comes
Yeah.
from the comic book. So I guess oh, like you feel better. Like oh, it's a it's a nod to the books, but it's a stupid name
Listen,
in the comic
I
books.
hope when Strange forms his own Illuminati, that it's not called the Illuminati.
Because okay, a couple of problems here. Number one, sure, it's a nod to the comics, which again I emphasize. I think it is a stupid name for the team in the comics. But when you're adapting it to a movie, people in that audience are going to be like, "Oh, it's that secret organization that everyone that's
I don't think that
famous
was
is
a good
in."
choice.
Yeah, it's a distractor. Even though that's what they're called in the comics, change it or don't name them or something, because that's like a clap moment. They set it up. The Illuminati will see you now, and it's like we're supposed to clap, and I'm cringing because I'm afraid that I'm going to hear from people that like Jay-Z is in the Illuminati and like I don't know who else, lizard people,
Kanye.
things like that. Like no, there's people, and then Strange. The second time I saw it, notice he's like the Illuma what? As if no one has ever used
Yes.
Illuminati in
Maybe
real life.
maybe in the 616, no one's ever used that word.
No,
Another
I did
thing.
catch that the second time.
616?
Illuminate
Yeah.
what?
yeah.
Oh yes, that's a whole conversation.
Okay. So let's put a pin in the 616.
Dude.
So that the name itself, the Illuminati,
Illuma
doesn't make,
what?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. He's never heard the word
I
before.
love it. I love that he never heard of it before.
Because it detaches the MCU further from us. Like the MCU apparently is a world where there is Facebook or MySpace in Iron Man 1. It's a world where like there are celebrities that we know by name, right? But not the Illuminati apparently. Okay?
nah, they're doing a good job. They're secret, dude.
All right. Should we go 616 or should we go
No, continue
the
with
Illuminati, right?
continue with
Okay.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
go
let's
ahead. Who
do
wants to throw us
Illuminati.
the first member of the Illuminati?
Who's the first one they show?
Oh, the first one they
Oh,
showed
it's,
Black
Black
Bolt.
Bolt.
Did you say
Black
Deadpool? Black Bolt. What do you guys think about Black Bolt?
I don't know.
I didn't watch Inhuman, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
I watched the first two episodes in
Connect.
IMAX. I
What a
mentioned this
legendary
earlier.
I'm
in the
sorry.
show.
experience.
Yeah. And then I think I watched the first two in IMAX. I came home and gave it a shot, the third episode on ABC. And that was the first Marvel thing I ever, I tapped out on it. And even now, having seen Black Bolt in it, I felt rewarded for wasting my
Yeah.
time. But I'm still never going to go back and finish.
That's the thing. Like, I didn't really. If I saw it and I knew like that, it's the same actor and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I still think that is cool.
I think it is cool,
especially
yeah.
if you,
Yeah,
if you
it's cool.
suffer through Inhumans. I think that's.
And not only that, I think it also it breathes new life in it. If that makes you go back and think it's okay or rewatching it or worth your time, great. But I also think you
Cool.
fixed the character
Because
he's like Black Bolt here.
is he cool in the comic? I have never really read
He
anything.
can be cool, but the thing is, he doesn't say anything. He has a cool suit. You know what I'm saying? It's a very one-dimensional character, you know? And full disclosure, I haven't done a deep dive in like the epic Inhumans run that like kind of defines the character. I've never been gravitated to those kind of like cosmic, surreal-ish
Yeah.
characters, so I haven't done a deep dive of it. But he's always a guy that's cool in the background, but not at the forefront. So for him,
isn't he like a king? Isn't he like the king in the Inhumans?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a weird character to be in the background.
So no, because it's like, for example, you line him up on a team like this, the Illuminati is the fifth most important character on the team. You know?
Yeah, that's kind of weak.
But is he constantly on teams like that? He's not a part of like his own team or something?
Yeah, he's the leader of the.
I would have put
Inhumans,
someone
but-
from Asgard there instead of him.
What?
Like who? Who would you have put? No, but he's a member of the Illuminati. It's very important. Yeah. No, I think getting him, and also let's be honest, guys, getting this guy must have been super easy. Like, what's this guy doing? You know?
Oh,
Put
he
him
was
in-
waiting by the phone.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I think it's very rewarding. Of course, he's dead moments later.
Does he talk in the show?
Does he exist in our timeline? No, he does not talk on the
Okay,
show.
good.
He does not.
I thought they were gonna make him talk in the show.
Yeah, no.
I thought he was cool though. I thought his powers.
I think
were
it
cool.
was
yeah,
cool.
I thought he
I
was
thought the
cool.
suit was cool.
But I think like it's cool to like say, oh, there's a version of this guy that exists in our universe. Now it's a version of this guy that exists in some other universe, and now he's dead, so we might never see him again. You know,
Yeah.
it's almost better to, let's say he lived, or we were confirmed that he's in our timeline again, 616 apparently, and then we never see him again. As long as we know he exists, the Inhumans exist. But to kill him off, it was like you introduced him and now he's out. That was the only. That's kind of the problem with me and all the Illuminati members.
All the cameos.
Yeah.
You have that, and then you go to Captain
Captain Carter's next.
Carter's next. Yeah.
Captain Carter's awesome.
I love
Yeah,
Captain
she's
Carter.
I
Awesome.
love
She's
Captain Carter as well.
beautiful and
She was awesome, man. Like, I want a show or something with her.
My
like,
wife was super excited because she loved her in What If. Peggy Carter has been her favorite superhero even before she was a superhero. She's like, I love First Avenger because Peggy is so awesome, and I was sad when she died, and I want like Haley Atwell, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
Just in everything all the time,
I agree.
everywhere,
she's awesome.
All at once.
all at once. So
Yeah.
she was super excited for this.
She looked great in that suit, man.
She did. She filled it out real nice. Not like she did. Like she had bulging biceps in What If when they animated
Nah, but
her.
I think this one was like, because I wondered, like, if they do this live action, how's it gonna look?
Yeah.
I think
It
they
looked
did
good.
well.
It
I think
did
it did
well,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I
Looked
think
good.
Yeah, she looked good. She had a jetpack. It was pretty awesome.
She was cool, man.
Yeah,
I
she
like-
got to live longer than Black Ball,
That's true.
who killed himself.
I
Apparently,
like
She
the.
lived longer than a lot of cameos.
Yeah.
I like how she was like, light-footed, like when she's running around, like there's like smoke and Wanda can't really tell where she is.
That was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
That
cool,
was super cool.
man.
Yeah,
And from there, who do we have?
After
Mordo,
that is-
which I felt like.
Oh,
Sorry, what'd you say, Dan?
Yeah,
I thought after that was Captain Marvel.
Oh, we're going down that line. Okay.
yeah. Well, Mordo was first, right? So we
Yeah,
can go
Mordo
back
was-
and talk about Mordo, but he's not really like. Well, I guess he is a member of the Illuminati, but
Yeah.
we're introduced to him first. He he
But
brings us-
he's the backup choice. He's Sorcerer Supreme because Strange dies.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, I appreciate what this movie did. Doctor Strange 2, supposedly, the Multiverse of Madness. Like it brought back the other Doctor.
Does he die? He doesn't die in this movie, right?
No,
just
he
gets stuck,
gets
that
stuck
little-
in a pit that he can't jump out of.
He can't
understand.
parkour out of that,
Yeah,
like-
I didn't understand that.
Even though he has magical
Even
shoes.
though he has magic.
No, he has magic. He
Yeah.
literally
he
has
magic
leaping shoes.
Yeah.
One of the questions that made no sense. One of the questions.
Well,
no,
he
he was
has the
afraid. He
handcuff
didn't want to
on,
go
right?
see. He didn't want to go see Wanda. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, he knew better. He was like, "Oh no,
I'll
I
stay down
can't."
here.
No, because the
I
Illuminati
see
were
why
sure
my
that they could beat
Mordo-
Wanda.
Yeah, but once his friends are all pretty much dead, like
Does he know that they're dead?
Strange says,
Well, he's
yeah, they're not
panicking
coming
at
back.
how long they're taking.
Mordo doesn't have faith in people. That's the problem with Mordo.
Also, the handcuffs thing. Mordo like
He fell for that.
No, Mordo goes for like he hits him with like a sword.
Yeah.
and the handcuffs don't break.
Yeah, that's
They
what
get
sucks.
they get onto that little ledge, and their body weight just is what
I
breaks
mean,
it.
it's already like damaged.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess.
I think it was fine. Like contrived plot point. Like
Christine,
we
you
can
gotta
put up
make
with
you gotta
some.
make stronger stuff, man.
Yeah.
Or that sword's got to be better. Pointless sword.
Well, okay, but then so let's talk about Mordo. What I was getting at was they brought back the Doctor from the first movie. That's kind of like a rival to Strange. They bring back Mordo. They bring back Christine in order to service the first film, right? Because all those elements only exist in Doctor Strange.
Mhm.
But they don't really do much with him. That first Doctor has that conversation at the wedding, and then we move on, right?
Dude,
Mordo has this spot. Christine's all over the movie, but her contribution, and I love Christine. I love it. Her
She's so
relationship.
good.
I love
Their
Rachel
relationship
McAdams
is amazing.
as an actress. So I love everything in concept of like centering this around them, but I don't think that it contributes to the plot of the film.
Do you feel satisfied with the way that relationship ended?
No, I don't feel
I do
satisfied
not. I
with.
don't feel like he got closure at all.
Yeah, I don't feel satisfied with the fact that she fell in love with someone else and got married off screen in between films. I don't feel satisfied with the fact that he just has to move on, that he has this quote unquote catharsis, this letting go with some alternate version of her from another universe that he doesn't have a relationship with. It just ends up hollow and empty. And I guess we'll get to the end of it where Doctor Strange ends up at the end. Like he needs to learn to sacrifice to this line keeps coming up that he needs to be the person with his hand on the knife, right? And I don't think he learns to not be that person by the end of this movie.
No.
Yeah. And
to me, it doesn't feel like he got there.
yeah, he didn't get there. Like, he's like, am I happy? He's still asking Wong at the end. So I'm not sure what Doctor Strange learned in this movie. I think he's made some steps as a character since Doctor Strange 1 through Infinity War and Endgame and No Way Home. I feel like Strange had more character growth in No Way Home than he did in this movie.
I agree.
Because I feel like he keeps barreling forward with like his stubbornness, and it pays off in this movie.
The only thing I learned that I feel like the only thing I got that I feel like Doctor Strange continued to learn is how to talk to children.
Yeah, he's just babysitting again.
How to with Peter, he has to remember that he's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He has to remember that he's a kid, like how he talks to him and stuff
You
like
don't think
that.
he forgot that by the beginning of this
And
movie?
then with America, what?
When he meets America, he's just forgotten. Like, he doesn't know.
Exactly. That's the only thing I feel like he makes progress towards the end of this one.
We'll see. Let's see what the next kid in his life. Let's see how he talks to him.
It'll probably be his own.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The Northman.
true.
Back to the Illuminati, and we're jumping from moment to moment, much in the same way
The
that this
movie
movie
moves.
just jumps from moment to moment, back and forth. Maybe not chronologically, but at least thematically. Captain Marvel, we mentioned,
Monica Rambeau.
But it's Maria.
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 All right. Now,
Oh, it's not
thought
Monica.
that was
no,
Monica's
Monica's
the
the
daughter.
daughter.
Oh, okay.
Which, you know what? That could have been like a Krasinski moment where Monica is Captain Marvel to kind of like hint at the future.
The future, yeah.
Yeah. Doing Maria, I thought it was strange. I thought it was a weird choice. I'm not sure what purpose it serves, except again, maybe like,
Fan service.
well, but who are you servicing? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
no
I
one,
don't
none
think
of the,
that
none
was-
of the.
Maria-
oh, it's
Does
Captain
Maria
Marvel's
ever-
best
Does
friend.
Maria ever turn to Captain Marvel in the comics?
I don't think so. I think it's just Monica.
Monica, yeah.
I kind of feel like she was also available. You could get her, a little. Look, some of the Illuminati sequence is like big budget, like wow, only in a Marvel film. Some of it feels like in a CW crossover, and that might be like overly critical, but it was pretty easy to get half of these actors. You know what I mean? They're like filling it out. Also, the fact
Only
that,
two of them, yeah, should have been hard to get.
yeah, and the fact also that like that's like Captain Marvel is a substitution for Namor in the Illuminati. Captain Marvel's not in the Illuminati. Namor would probably be filling up that seat, right?
You could have introduced Namor there.
But I don't know if they're ready to, or I don't know what the rights is like. For years and years, and I don't know what it's like now. The Namor rights had been tied up with Universal, which is why they can't make a Hulk movie. They also can't make a Namor movie because Universal holds the rights to that. So I'm not sure if they've figured that out.
Where's my Namor right, bro?
So Captain Marvel was kind of a weak choice, I think, for the Illuminati. It was fine. It ties into stuff.
Should have been Tony Stark.
So, okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Everyone-
that would have been cool.
Everyone was expecting Tony Stark, and I think it would have been cool. I think it would have been just as cool.
Tom Cruise, Tony Stark, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
I think it would have been just as cool and as problematic as many of these cameos. But I think my wife was telling me she felt like it would cheapen
Tony.
Tony's death. Yeah. And I'm like, even if it's Tom Cruise, because it's not Robert Downey Jr., it's like, it's in Iron Man. Like, the audience needs to feel the loss of Iron Man in any way, shape, or form. If you bring me an Iron Man, you're already diluting and watering down the loss of Iron Man.
But what if you watched it? What if he was there in that montage where they were jumping from multiverse to multiverse? And what if you had him there instead of here? Because I understand not having him here.
Right.
Because if he were there, he was gonna die instantly,
Yeah.
and that would cheapen Iron Man.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
But if you have him as a cameo, like in the with the montage where they're traveling, I wouldn't mind that. You get me?
I think,
Like quick, you
It-
see.
yeah,
it when
quick
Tom
scene, like,
Cruise
oh,
working on his
this is-
suit.
Yeah, it's like a Stan Lee type of thing.
uh-huh.
Oh, this is so cool. That's it.
I think that might have worked better. I think the whole rumor of him being in this movie, though, is because Iron Man is a prominent member of the Illuminati. So I think that's where this whole rumor started, which who knows where this rumor started from. Maybe they thought about it. Maybe they tried to get it. I'm almost certain they didn't film it because there's no way you cut Tom
You
Cruise.
cut
no way
Tom-
you
no
cut
way
Tom
you cut
Cruise.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
And then
maybe he was
and then
busy.
the other
Nah,
member-
I would have enjoyed to see it.
and
then the
that,
other
but the
member-
guy we did get, yeah.
The other member we saw afterwards.
Mhm.
The
Talking about Charles or talking about the other one?
Well,
No.
before Charles enters, Reed Richards.
Reed Richards.
The
John
smartest man
Krasinski.
alive.
dumbest
but
guy
it doesn't
alive,
seem
dog.
like it.
Yeah. What? Here's a genius.
He's
Watch
an
him do
idiot.
stupid mistakes.
Because he's a Patriots fan, that's why.
I don't think Reed Richards specifically is a Patriots fan.
Krasinski is.
He's a good actor. He's portraying a New York fan.
Well, he better not be a Jets fan then.
Oh man, that's even.
He's a Giants fan for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
Look at the colors. So, can you imagine what they would look like in green? That would be.
I thought that
terrible.
was the best. I thought that was awesome.
I thought that was sick,
Like-
man.
I was disappointed.
I'm like I don't really like I'm with Danny. I don't really like this movie. But if what we get from this movie is John Krasinski as Reed Richards,
This was the worst way to introduce him.
this was worst way to introduce him. But I'm happy
Okay.
because I've wanted that since
That's
WandaVision.
what scares me, man. Like, did they just give us to us like, hey, we heard you. Here it is. He's dead
For
now.
one
We're gonna go with
scene.
somebody else.
Yeah. The first night, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it in relation to this. I have to see where we're going. The second time we saw it, I thought, no, I'm pretty sure it was a misstep either way. Because this is what I feel. If they gave it to the fans who wanted John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic and now he's gone, wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge letdown. If this is a appetizer for him being the lead of the Fantastic Four movie, I think they did a disservice to
Yeah.
the character. I think they didn't make him look or sound smart, and I think they punked him out
Yeah.
like in a quote unquote jobber match to feed Wanda, meaning he appeared low level and just to build up another character.
I mean, everyone in the
They
Illuminati.
Yeah, they punked
everyone-
out the entire Illuminati,
They
right?
really did him dirty.
Xavier's
They
probably
didn't
the one
even
who
get a
put up
good
the best
fight.
fight. Xavier's probably the
He almost had her.
he has the best sequence too. I think that moment's great.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Before we move on
But
to
the rest
Xavier,
really don't have a. I mean, Reed Richards literally dies within
It does
5
not
seconds.
do. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
he has a few character dialogues where he talks about having kids, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, this is either insight into what we should expect, or maybe it's not, because the multiverse doesn't matter, you know?
Mhm.
So maybe it's just this Reed. And then for all I know, I don't have any expectations. Maybe he doesn't have kids.
But didn't they say something about the '60s?
So we thought the
Oh,
first time
that-
we're like,
yeah.
what was that line? But the line is Doctor Strange tells him, oh, the Fantastic Four, what were you charting? Did you chart in the 60s? Meaning that you're like a
Oh,
like a
'cause it
doo-wop
sounds
like-
or
Oh,
R&B
okay.
group, right? Like it's a terrible name. I also hate jokes like that.
Well,
and
because
I thought we would
There's a group called the Fantastic Four.
no, the Four Tops
No,
or the
there's a-
Fantastics.
There's a group called the Fantastic
D-
Four in the '60s.
No way.
Look it up.
You look it up. Prove it to
did.
me. Oh, okay.
Isn't Danny the computer guy?
But there's the Fantastics and then there's the Four Tops. You're
Not
telling
right
me
now.
there's literally a Fantastic Four? I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're not.
So
that
that's
fun.
what he was referencing.
Yes, that's what he was referencing. He was
That's-
referencing
that-
Bro,
feels
that question
cheap,
that question
bro.
was boggling my mind because I couldn't hear because everyone was yelling. And I was like
every time.
I heard it the second time, but the
They
first
were
time
yelling everywhere.
No, but
all
that's
at
the
once.
right time to yell.
the
in my
first time I was like, I heard something in the '60s, and I'm like,
Yeah, same.
oh, what?
But in my opinion, that's the right time to
I think
yell
the
and
group
cheer.
from the '60s is the actual Fantastic Four.
What? Like the
because you
comic
know,
book?
yeah, because they debuted in the '60s.
Okay,
So
I don't think they're a music group.
there is a band.
So go find it for me right here live on the
Okay.
show. Anyways, I don't like jokes that make fun of the names or the characters.
No, he's right. There was a Fantastic Four in '65.
65. What did they? I mean, did they last long? No, we're not going into this. Never mind. Okay,
They
you
lasted
win.
until
You
2000.
win. I didn't know about them.
congrats.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. Let's not go into a 5-minute deep dive
They were
about
a
the Fantastic Four.
Detroit-based
Congrats,
soul
bro.
group.
Classic
Time
Motown.
Oh, take that picture, put it in the show notes so that
Congrats.
everybody can.
Congrats on that win, Gabe.
Yep, put that as a monument of my error right there.
Did they chart?
I don't think they charted though. Well, I'm gonna start saying wrong things some more.
Yeah, they
They're the best. They're the most successful.
They
doo-wop
didn't.
group.
They didn't last long. They only lasted from 1965 to 2000.
Well, with a terrible name like that, the Fantastics and the Four Tops are both like in play. They're
How many years is that then? 65 to 2000.
That's only like a couple.
35?
That's only like a couple of
35?
seconds.
That's only 30. That's only 35.
Oh wow,
minutes.
I'm on their wiki page and it says they have a pop culture tab. In the 2022 Marvel Studios movie Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness,
What?
the
No
title
way.
character Doctor Stephen Strange references the band, the
Oh, he's
Fantastic
right.
Four.
No,
A
no.
noted
That's actually-
music buff, Doctor Strange
No.
asked
Yeah,
about
he
the
is
band
right.
Because
when
not,
learning about the
but not in that universe.
In his universe.
In his universe, they
616 baby.
didn't. Oh, okay.
616.
Are we
That's
616?
canon. No.
Okay.
We're supposed to be.
Professor X. Let's do him, and then let's tackle 616.
Bro, can they stop killing Professor X? Like but I've seen Professor X get killed more than than Uncle Ben. Like, stop killing my dude, bro.
And the
He's-
Waynes.
he is
Tweet
l-
that.
He is literally, he is
Too
literally
soon. Too
like
soon.
one of the best characters in all of the in all of Marvel. Stop killing him. I love that
Nah,
guy.
I'm pretty sure that's what Patrick Stewart says. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you want me back? You have to kill me.
Yeah. Because I think it's like they want to definitively write him out.
How many times are you gonna definitively write him out?
Well, they all make sense though, right?
He's like, I want to keep funding my Picard show, bro. Give me that Marvel money, and I'm gonna die. That's
yeah,
it.
listen, the X-Men trilogy was over, but they also shot the extra scene in case they were gonna do more. Okay, but the X-Men trilogy was over the first time. Then,
Logan.
no,
Okay.
And that's no. You got some. You got some in between.
right? Does he die before that? No, I think it's just that. Then in Logan he dies. I think that's the second time he dies, right?
Yeah.
And that makes sense. That's the last
That would-
X-Men story
that's
for
a-
sure.
That's yeah.
Right. But
And
then,
then-
But he's back, baby.
But then they
Multiverse
bring-
means nothing.
yeah, Days of Future Past. Because we've been here with Fox. Fox already did this. They watered everything down with the multiverse. Days of Future Past brings him back. Does he die in Days of Future Past?
I don't remember.
No, I think Eric dies.
No,
Magneto.
even in the old. No, don't they destroy the entire Days of Future Past timeline? So technically, doesn't everybody die in Days of Future Past?
But it works out at the end somehow, though. So I guess technically he dies.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
technically everybody
Because
dies.
yeah, everybody dies. So okay, so he
that
dies
was the
in Days of Future
incursion
Past.
that Strange
And then-
kills.
And then clearly, Days of Future Past, that's going to be the last time that he shows up. Clearly. No, he comes back again. But we're not going to get. See, there's another thing, too, is like, I would like, even if we don't see him ever again as Professor X, I would like to leave it open. I wouldn't have liked to, like, you know,
Yeah. Maybe he's dead in that universe.
Patrick Stewart dying is the new Stan Lee.
My wife was like, Patrick Stewart still works? And I was like, he just dropped like season 2 of Picard,
For
right?
real, like he's still going
He
strong,
is,
man.
Yeah.
He looked good
Yeah.
in that turtleneck.
Yeah, in his like
him
Apple,
walking. Wow.
his Apple presentation where it's like white background, black turtleneck, and jeans, and he's like, "We have the new."
Wanda,
I love
come check out our new microchip.
I love Patrick Stewart so much.
He was great. Also, 97 X-Men vibes, right?
The song came out.
Yep, the song, Big Yellow Chair. I feel like even his mannerisms, like the way he points directly, like holding his mind and pointing
Yeah.
to,
that's yeah.
and the little waves going from his head. I don't remember if they did that in any of the Fox movies, but it felt
No.
so 97.
Great touch.
Yeah.
The waves, no.
Yeah, the waves, no, right? I was almost certain of it.
And then he dies.
97. Patrick Stewart as X-Men 97.
Nah, the waves,
Professor
no. What they
X.
did was the echolocation thing, like how you see in Batman,
Yeah,
and how he's like, he uses
Yeah,
like either.
that's what I figured.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is that
But then
the
they did
Illuminati?
Then they did him dirty.
Yeah, they
And
snapped
then-
that
Yeah,
waves
they
in
did.
that, dog.
They killed.
I feel like that sequence could have been a little longer.
Yeah.
You know,
Have
because
them have a better fight.
it was so beautiful, and then it was
There
over.
are certain things.
I didn't think he was gonna die.
Not,
Like
yeah,
that.
not even that sequence. There's so many shots, even like standard shots in the film that you can let go. You don't
The-
have to hard cut so much.
The movie doesn't breathe. It doesn't hang on moments. It again
Which
jumps
is,
from moment
if
to
it
moment.
if it is gonna be a movie about moments, you can like lengthen those moments by a bit, and the movie's not long at all.
They're not emotional moments. They're either shock moments or they're like cool moments, which is fine, but it lacks heart. It lacks a certain heart.
Which I think is like a difference with No Way Home. I think No Way Home did that really well. I
Mhm.
think it had its moments where it's like, wow, these are huge moments. But I think it had that heart with Peter, and it had those
Mhm.
emotional moments, hit those emotional beats.
Yeah.
I think.
yeah.
It had a great story behind it.
And we're getting to the crux of it, where Doctor Strange won, and I'm the biggest Doctor Strange stan on this show here, right?
No, I think I like it more than you.
If you
Link
go
is
back and
Multiverse Link is a fan of magic.
if you go back and listen to the
We've got
Marvel
the wrong Link.
the Marvel movie method, you will know that Link is lying clearly. And And if you go back and listen also to our, oh no, that's the end of the Marvel movie
Listen,
method.
guys, just go back and listen to all the episodes.
Okay. except anime, just to aggravate.
No, stop.
Danny.
Go listen to the anime
Don't do
episode.
that. Go, please, anime fans.
We literally discuss what's going to happen the next 10 years of the Marvel Universe. So go and listen to it. We have spoilers. We have the inside scoop.
And we don't talk about gaming at all. Don't worry. So, anyways, back to whatever it
Doctor
was.
Strange,
that I
you're
was
the biggest
talking about.
fan.
Okay, yeah. I'm the biggest fan of Doctor Strange, but I think all these movies, when we talk about like why we relate to it, is because as universal and like as super powered and whatever it is that these movies are about, at the end they're about people and they're about human experiences. And like with No Way Home, I was afraid going into it, like, is it really gonna be Spider-Man 3? You know what I mean? Not Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 3, but is it really gonna be the third?
Is it going to be a Spider-Man movie? Is it going to be like a bigger event movie like Avengers or something like that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like it does this great thing about still balancing him and his relationships, like him and his girlfriend, him and his aunt, going to college, you know, all the little things about life, trying to find yourself, you know, going out on your own, making personal sacrifice for the greater good. And I feel like that's missing here in a way that it wasn't in Doctor Strange 1. Doctor Strange 1 was about like a existential, yes, crisis or exploration, but about personal, spiritual growth, right? And self-sacrifice.
Well, that's the thing about Spider-Man, and that's why he's like my favorite. He's one of my favorite superheroes, like as a character, because Peter Parker is just as important as Spider-Man. And I feel like that movie didn't neglect Peter. I feel like that movie was about Peter and who he was growing up.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I said, the movie hit those emotional beats. But in this one, I can say I like the movie in the sense that like I had fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But did it hit those emotional beats for me in this one?
No.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
feel emotional. I don't think at any point.
There's only
And I don't know if that's not. I don't know if that's what it was going for. I feel like the movie should, especially being a sequel.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Doesn't feel like a sequel to the first one.
Absolutely.
I think the first one is a better film. But like I said, I enjoyed this and I had fun. I'm a fan of the director, and then I like certain aspects of it. There are certain like kind of like technical aspects of the filmmaking that I was like, did you really look at this in post and say, I don't need to change this? Maybe you should have.
Any examples of that?
There's some shots that just don't, like at the beginning when Strange wakes up from that dream,
Mm-hmm.
he's breathing hard, he's breathing heavy, he's sweating, and then like really quickly cuts to the watch, backs to him, he's perfectly fine. He has nothing on his face. He's not sweating anymore. He's not like it doesn't flow. It just feels like it's very cut off. There's another part where Mordo is stuck in the trench, and he's talking to Steven. Like he's saying words, and you can see Mordo in the back, and his mouth is not moving at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's clearly a dub, and it's like certain things like that. I'm just like, why? When he's talking to Wanda in the made up apple orchard that she has,
Yeah.
and she's like facing one direction, it cuts, and then she's like not facing the same
Harry
direction
Styles
at
was
all.
there?
No. I hope not. But yeah, it's just it's little things like that where I'm just like,
When like Mr. Fantastic is talking to Doctor Strange, some of the
Oh,
cuts are
yeah.
like, what is he looking at?
he's not looking at him.
Yeah.
And I
Bro,
get
he
it.
looks
Like
like
they
he's
might not have
zoned
been in the
out.
same room, but like, does Mr. Fantastic, like, I don't understand. Like, what is he
but
staring
aren't those
at?
all mistakes? You know, every movie's not perfect. You get me?
Okay.
Nah, but I haven't really noticed that and maybe it's because we watched a bunch of movies during the Oscars and maybe my eyes getting more critical, I guess is
Yeah.
what it is. But I haven't
I-
noticed stuff like that in previous Marvel films.
Okay, I also think nobody mentioned this, but the CGI was a little wonky at moments. The one that really sticks out to me because it happens a little throughout the movie, but like you can put up with it. When Wong falls through the portal in the opening against Shumagorath or whatever that monster was, pretending to be Shumagorath. When he falls through the portal and then he lands on the street, he rolls and hits a car, and it looks so fake. It's clearly like, here's Wong, here's a CGI Wong.
It was
hitting,
too fast.
Yeah, and then stopping, and here's Wong again.
See, and there's some things where it's like, and it happened, and we'll talk about it when we talk about Moon Knight, but there's some instances, especially like specifically with cars and
Yeah.
vehicles in general, the CGI hasn't been up to par recently,
No.
in my opinion.
No.
Like
No, absolutely.
like the stuff like with the bus and there's cars like driving around. Like I feel like you can actually drive a car. I don't understand why you have to CGI it, and it does not look real at all.
It's probably cheaper.
It's probably cheaper, but man, like
I
come on,
think-
But I
bro.
think about like a lot of the bus scene in Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
had
I don't
Yeah.
understand. They
set
did the
for
same. They
that.
did a
Yeah.
similar scene, and they did it. It looked great.
And it looked beautiful.
Okay.
And that scene is so hard to do inside of the
Yeah.
bus. This one, you're just crushing a bus from outside and taking it apart. I don't get it.
Well, okay, with Moon Knight, and again, we'll be talking about Moon Knight real soon. With Moon Knight,
Oh,
I
that's
think
an
it was.
interesting way how you said that.
I'm really excited for that one. So, guys, catch up with Moon Knight if you haven't finished it. Okay, we're giving you time, no excuses. We gave you 72 hours for Doctor Strange. We're giving you like a week for Moon Knight because we get it. The binge is real.
Is that Black Bolt?
Yeah.
Oh,
So, with you threw me off just pointing out a picture of Black Bolt
Sorry.
in the studio. The CGI. So with Moon Knight, I definitely think it is a budget constraint. It was like, how much does it
I
cost?
get that.
Because it's
yeah,
TV,
I can understand
right?
it for a show.
Which I understand.
Like towards the end of the show, I'm like, oh, I can see where the budget
all
really
the
went.
money went to the last
yeah,
episode,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I understand that there's like a more budget constraints there, and sometimes it's just like, this is going to be cheaper. We have to do it, okay? With Shang-Chi, like you mentioned, they can do it because they have more money. I think with this movie, they have even more money probably than Shang-Chi. I don't know, but I'm going to
assuming. I would
assume
have to
the
check
budget
that.
is higher than even Shang-Chi. I think it's just, and this is no fault of his own, Sam Raimi hasn't done a movie in what, like 12 years?
Yeah.
Right?
2013.
And I think if you go back and you look at those old Spider-Man movies, you see moments like this, and you're like, but whatever. It's like 2001, it's 2005. You know what I mean? And you just like, those were things that you could get away with and that didn't really matter at that time. Like you said, people have more of a critical eye. The fans, even the casual fans, they know more. They're better educated. They have a better eye. Not only that, high definition, 4K, 8K.
Yeah, I think
you know what I mean? You've got to hide that stuff even better or not do it at all. If you roll a guy into a car and it looks like a video game, and you can't do it better, maybe you have to think about, maybe I don't want to roll this guy into this car.
Change
There has
that
to be.
scene.
There has. There. It may be small. I mean, I don't know what the science is on it, but there has to be a shift in the way because, like, now with professional sports, adding 8K cameras into it, and like things just obviously as time progresses, like we're gonna have better quality stuff.
Right.
Maybe that has something to do with it. But that was another thing. You talking about like Spider-Man in 2001. I feel like that first opening sequence with Shuma-Gorath, the monster. I was like, I felt like I went back in time.
Yeah.
To the first like Raimi Spider-Man movies.
I think I made this comment. I said, this is the most comic book movie we've had in a long time.
Definitely. Like this is one of the ones where I could see like wonky suits, like characters with like they're not like if you don't really see them like realistically how they would make suits like in the comics.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like, oh, I could see like a comic booky suit coming out.
Oh, like for example, Reed Richards' suit. I was not a fan
Yeah.
personally.
It was baggy. I wasn't
It
appreciative
was
of that.
weird. Something about it was weird.
It looked
I
like
don't
they
know.
designed it 10 years ago.
Redesign.
Well,
and
it's a
you know what?
different
It-
multiverse,
It looked
though.
like what's it called? It looked like the kind of like an off-brand version of the bad Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
I did.
yeah.
I did think it had vibes of like previous Fantastic Four suits,
Yeah.
especially that one. Yeah.
I mean, I don't. It may be cheesy or campy, but I like the Ian McGrufford Fantastic Four.
Yeah, because it's just
suit.
literally the one from the comics.
I thought it was awesome.
And here's what I think. And now I'm
I
totally.
kind of wanted to see him.
It should have
Not
been
gonna
him.
Yeah.
It should have been him.
Should have been him.
Yeah, that's true.
It should.
And then save the real one for
Yeah.
later, right?
Yeah, and save the real one.
And now I'm totally projecting and just assuming I have no prior knowledge and I have no idea what their mechanism. But I also can't help but feel that the attitude I'm getting from this movie is like, we can put him in whatever suit because it doesn't matter because we're gonna do a different guy in a
Nothing
different
matters.
I don't like that
Nothing
whatever attitude,
matters.
man.
Yeah, I
Nothing
was like, oh, if
matters.
the suit sucks and everybody hates it, we'll just design a new suit.
They have a way out of everything.
of everything. Yeah, it doesn't hold them accountable for their design choices, and their storytelling methodology.
I'm interested to see what the big event is going to be in this like
Phase?
this next event. Like we had the
So,
Infinity Saga and
what
this
I've
saga,
heard-
like what
Like in
it's
this
going to be.
phase?
Yeah.
What I've read on the streets is that this is setting up for Secret Wars.
You fall to your knees in the park and you read in the streets. You do activities in like weird locations.
Secret Wars, the one.
No, he reads while he falls to his
Secret
knees.
Wars with the how do you call it? The aliens from.
No,
Dark
Secret
String?
Wars is like a
sorry,
multiversal
Ugh,
No, that's Secret Invasion.
Secret
But
Invasion.
it's
Yeah,
like,
Secret
how
Invasion.
big is that gonna be,
Bro,
bro?
I'm tired of
Dude,
multiverse.
I don't know,
I'm
'cause
how
tired of
big is that gonna
multiverse.
be, man?
Stop
Alright,
giving me
The
multiverse.
story of Secret Wars is ambitious on its own in the comics. I can't imagine doing that on the
Okay,
screen.
guys, this is where we've arrived to, and I think we're landing the plane here. Comic book movies have now become comic books, for good and for bad.
Ooh.
There's so many titles, they can't all be excellent and amazing. That's the reality of it. Some are gonna be good, some are gonna be all right. I think this movie was all right. You know, I think your mileage will vary whether you think it's good or bad. I think
That
it
was
was
very,
fine.
very Republican.
What does that mean?
All right.
No, that's okay.
The fear in the eyes of George Prime. He was like, "What are you about to say?"
I think Eternals was bad.
All left.
I think that started it, man. I think the only thing
Sure.
that kept me in was Spider-Man being so good.
Yeah, it's been an up and down.
No,
in
okay,
space.
but we talked about this when we talked about Eternals. And what episode did we talk about Eternals?
Marvel movie method.
The final.
All of them. There's like a piece in every one of them.
Okay, in the third final movie method, we made our peace with, okay, Eternals has now shown us that Marvel doesn't have to be good. It's not a guarantee.
Marvel is infallible.
It's not a layup, right? And then No Way Home, right after that, in that same episode, which we recorded at a different time, reinvigorated our hope it can still
Marvel
be amazing.
Can do
Yeah.
no wrong.
No, because we had
No, I know.
it was a 1-2 punch, like literally within the same,
No, it
episode
was
about
like
a
the
week
worst
apart.
and the
Yeah,
best.
yeah, but I don't know,
that I
man.
had
That-
experienced.
See, this
So
is the thing.
now you have to have a critical eye. Yeah.
Spider-Man was an event, man. Like, I don't think that can be reproduced. Like, that's just a moment in time where it's like,
We said that about Endgame.
it's a great film. Yeah, but this feels
This is
different.
different.
This feels different in the sense of like, because I felt a different way about Spider-Man than I did about Endgame, because yeah, Endgame's building upon like everything that we had been watching
Mhm.
of that series.
Right.
That movie took us back to a different series of movies that
Yeah.
we all grew up on.
Yeah.
That was like, I don't think like I would ever expect that to be connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
was
they did
almost
it
a
twice.
cinematic impossibility.
Yeah, they like it broke so many, I guess so many not rules, but so many like layers. I'm just like, wow.
No, I think rules is not a bad way to put
It's
Yeah.
just it's crazy, and I don't think that can like really happen. I think once you open that can of worms, like I said, it can be dangerous. I think that's why I think we kind of got into that.
It
Into
can be
this film.
madness.
Yeah. And I think there's a method to the madness, but we're not all going to agree with all the methods there. What about the finale, the ending, the story that where it leads us? We didn't even talk about like the ultimate like battle where he, for all intents and purposes, possesses a dead corpse and violates every law of natural.
And then we have too many shots going into eyes.
That was cool. I don't know what you're talking about, Doug.
Do it like 4 times.
I just
It
feel
was
like
cool the first 2 times. and
Yeah.
then I
Nah,
was
bro,
like,
it's
oh,
cool. All
we're doing
7
this
times, Doug.
again.
I just feel like Doctor Strange took risks and like broke everything. Doctor Strange always breaks the rules and he's rewarded for him. And he crosses like a lot of lines. And I think this is the furthest line he's ever crossed, like desecrating human life. I don't know how I felt about it. It was a very Sam Raimi, Evil Dead-ish, like
It was Doctor
Third
Strange
act.
and
The
Evil
end
Dead.
felt like a Sam Raimi movie.
yeah, it felt like Doctor Strange versus the Evil Dead. And
Guitar riffs and demons.
And I think this is a tale of two stories because I feel like this movie has 2 different endings, one with consequences and one without. And somehow they both made it into
They
the same
both made
movie.
it.
So,
Did
do
we
we want to
talk
talk
about
about those
that?
final moments?
See, that's the thing. I personally believe like we have Sam Raimi's input and we have whoever wrote this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that it necessarily gels
Right.
completely, which is why I said like critically, like it definitely has its flaws. But I think the way I look at it is like I said, I'm a fan of Raimi, and it just reminded me of like all the films that I'd seen in the past. Not all of them, but like a lot of-
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man, the other Spider-Man movies, especially like in the first half,
Mhm.
and then the Evil Dead, and Ash and Evil Dead. Like
Oz the Great and Powerful.
I never saw that one.
I liked it. I thought it was good. People rag on it. I think it's fine.
That one guy that we talked to.
Yeah.
was on it.
Yeah.
But he didn't see. He didn't even see it.
He hadn't seen it either. Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. For me, man, I had fun. Do I think it's a better movie than the first Doctor Strange? No.
I have thematic issues with it. The whole journey is be better than the other strangers. Be better than the other yous. And in the end, he isn't. In the end, he makes the
he's
same
not.
decision.
Which at the same time, it's like they tie that up at the end. They try to tie that up at the end with like that one conversation with Wong,
Yeah.
where Wong's just like,
Where they try to find a meaning to this movie because I don't feel like it's in the movie.
No, yeah.
So what does Wong say?
Wong's just like, well, Strange asked Wong, he's like, "Are you happy?" And Wong's like, "That's an interesting question." But you know, with all the
Maybe they had just seen the movie.
I think about like with
Maybe
all,
Benedict Cumberbatch was asking Benedict
Like,
Wong.
are you
they
happy?
just
Are you
recorded- they
happy?
just
And
kept
he's like,
recording.
That's an
They just,
interesting
like,
question.
Raimi's like, pick this up. But then he's like, I mean, with all the like, you think about all the different lives you've lived in the multiverse, and
Mhm.
but then sometimes he learns like he has to be grateful for the one that he has right now, and that kind of like wasn't what I got from the whole movie.
Yeah.
But they kind of said at the end, I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
It's just that's not what I got from it at all. And I guess like at the end of the movie, he is in a better place. He fixed the watch, and I guess that to him is his closure, that he's moving forward. But
But why?
Mm.
Why is
Uh,
it closure?
It doesn't
I
matter,
don't know.
man.
I
He
don't know.
got a shot. They got a shot of him walking down happy down the street, man. He's good
And then he falls to his knees
in the park.
in the
on the
street.
In the
In the
street.
street.
And he can
Reading.
read with his third eye.
Oh, he was he reading? I think
No.
he was. No, we're gonna say he was reading in another timeline.
his
he
third eye
reading.
was reading.
They must have shot that scene 8 times. The ancient Greeks posited the idea of a multiverse, right?
They
That-
did?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow, it's
The
wow.
more you know.
So they theorized universes beyond ours, and since then, we've explored like what are the other lives that matter. I think when we go looking at the choices that we make in our lives, I think that's why we're drawn to these multiverse stories. I think that's why we've been told to them recently, right? We think about what our lives could be. And I'm not wrapping up here, by the way, in case
I
you
was
think
not
okay.
sure. I'm
I was like,
are we
can
wrapping
I
up?
speak? Can
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
This was
You-
really good.
We didn't even talk about
I'm-
616.
I'm trying to get you're right. I'm trying to get into a deeper level discussion because I'm not sure that it's here in this film, but we always look at these things critically looking. We talked about the MacGuffins, the different items that the characters are searching for, but what are we searching for? Wong tries to attach meaning to this narrative, right? We look at all these different Universal movies and we think about like who we are. Everything Everywhere All at Once, it explored this, right? And I think it resonated with us because it makes us think, man, the lives we could have lived and the lives we can still live.
Yeah.
I want to be a chef with the animal controlling me.
Yeah. It almost feels like Wong, or not Wong, whoever wrote Wong's dialogue saw Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Right before.
Yeah.
Like,
And was like, oh, make this the theme of the movie. Because I feel like that movie did a much better job of me thinking about this, right?
Yeah.
We only live one life. The ones that we've like discarded, the ones that exist somewhere philosophically, you know, in another universe, and we don't have access to those. You know what I mean? Be happy about the triumphs that we've had in the past and what could have been, but look forward to the future and make your timeline, you know, your
That's
616.
such a beautiful
Yeah.
message, man. And I
I-
wish this movie.
and I
coulda
totally
hammered
got that from this
home.
movie, man. It's just,
Okay. Yeah. I think what Danny's saying is what? That you think you wish they would have told that story better.
Yeah, I wish they would have told that story. I wish it would have ended with that message being clear to the audience, and it's not there.
I think
That's beautiful.
this movie had changes, like huge changes.
Well,
in the reshoots.
The Doctor Strange 1 director, what's his name? Scott Derrickson?
Derrickson.
Yeah, Scott Derrickson.
He exited, I believe, in January of last year because, and that was around the time WandaVision was coming out, right? Because he had
Uh-oh.
creative differences.
Creative differences, yeah.
Yeah. That he said he couldn't make the movie he wanted to make, the Doctor Strange 2. I can't help but hypothesize what that means, you know?
Yeah.
Man, Wanda ruined that guy's career.
And And I
And
think
I mean, there was a shift. There was
Yeah.
definitely a shift in the order of things that were coming out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Stranger was supposed to come out before Spider-Man.
yeah, it was supposed to come out before Spider-Man.
And then the WandaVision shift as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was other plans, I guess. I mean, I guess there always is.
I wonder what this now means for Wanda. You get me? Because the Wanda we saw in the
It
movie
doesn't matter.
is not the Wanda we know, right? It's like
You
What do you
crazy
mean?
Wanda.
do
It
you
is
mean?
our Wanda.
It's
She's
our
just-
no,
Wanda.
it's
she's
our Wanda,
possessed.
but it's like it's not her because she's
Because of the Darkhold.
yeah because of the
Right.
Darkhold, right?
I mean, she's still experienced and she's.
Yeah, like she's still
It's
you know
okay, we
'cause-
could just grab another Wanda.
We were introduced to another Wanda already.
Yeah.
So there's literally another perfectly fine. Like there's a Wanda that exists in the place we left her at the end of WandaVision. Would it really make a difference? Like you said, this Wanda's under control. That Wanda wasn't, and she's where we left her. So like we could just plug
But,
and
like,
play.
so but yeah, I do want to know like where do we go from here? Like because she's not dead,
Yeah.
right? You
Oh,
can't
they
unkill her.
they make us think she
Nah.
is.
Yeah,
but-
right.
Nah.
But if she does come back,
Can you
Right?
salvage
does she?
that? after
If you do
everything she's
salvage
done?
that, right? Does she come back as the normal Wanda who's just under control of from this other thing, or and you just all right, it wasn't her. We can or are there consequences to what she did?
I think there should be. I think there might not be.
Right?
That's what.
Because I feel like that's what's gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. We're not gonna get
Oh, because no, go
a
ahead.
Wanda that has a. I think they're just gonna forget about it. Like, all right, cool. She was under control. That's not really her. We forgive her.
Because I think that's the point that you were making, George Prime, in the about this film. It's like, are there consequences to
Yeah.
our actions?
I'm not sure that it matters. Look, listen. She has a big sacrifice play and gives her life up to destroy the Darkhold in all the universes. Wow, that's beautiful. But also, she might still be alive because, like, whatever, a
But that-
castle dropped on her. Number two, if she did die, we just grab another one.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't think she died from rocks
I
falling
don't
on
think
her.
so either.
And this is, but that's my
absolutely not.
question: is like, where do they go? Is it gonna be? Does she search her? Does she get redemption?
I don't
for
know
that?
because I feel like this was the same journey she went on in WandaVision. Like
it doesn't. That's
dealing with
yeah.
grief and loss, coming to terms with it.
I'm just
I
gonna turn
wonder
evil
if
because I read a
Vision-
book in the
I
street.
wonder if Vision's gonna play a role in her coming back. I'm assuming.
Does anybody else think it's weird that
Maybe.
Vision wasn't in this movie? That we went a whole
Yeah, I'm
movie with
surprised he
with
wasn't.
Also,
WandaVision and he
that's
never
tr-
come up?
they're not done with Wanda, man. You're gonna tell me they're gonna leave that whole thing
Yeah.
unresolved at the end of WandaVision, bro? Like,
Yeah.
no shot that she's not gonna be in. She's not coming back
So I don't get why pretend to kill her.
because she had to do something good at the end of the movie.
Because yeah,
Because people needed a clap at the end.
because it's a movie, and it's just it follows the beats of
You know what's funny? No one
like what a narrative story.
no one clapped when that whatever that temple crushed her.
Darkhold Castle.
Yeah,
Why would you?
Yeah, why would they clap? Yeah, Wanda's dead. They love her. Why
Oh,
would
they
clap?
loved her. Yeah.
I mean, because it was an act of sacrifice, though.
I think
Nah.
I think people's morals
Nah,
are about
they-
as
they don't
askew as
care.
this movie.
They don't care.
Yeah, they're
they
like,
just
nah,
I just want to see
boo.
Wanda live and do
Yeah,
do whatever
exact-
she wants.
Yeah, do whatever she wants, not like giving
Die.
her life.
She's doing the right thing.
I feel like this movie placated like the most baser emotions of the audience.
in
And,
both senses, for good and for bad.
Yeah.
616.
616. So we talked about creating that timeline, right? Where we're
What
the
is a
main timeline.
616? For those of
The main true canon Marvel universe.
Okay.
why is
In
it
the
called
comics.
616?
Here's why it's called 616. So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. No.
In a universe far, far away.
So it got comic books got complicated. There's tons of timelines here, different versions, right? Most of them suck because when you start changing stuff and then you get to just kill people randomly and it doesn't mean anything. Oh, does that sound familiar? Anyways, it was like, how do we sort this, right? In the Marvel Encyclopedia, how do we label all these different timelines, right?
You get Rachel McAdams to do it.
Exactly. So they hired Rachel McAdams and she wrote the Marvel Encyclopedia and she writes down like she categorizes. Okay, it's a joke. Rachel McAdams didn't do it, but they basically labeled all the different universes and they designated them random numbers because it's an infinite multiverse.
Yeah.
Unlike DC, where sometimes they only have 52. But it's an infinite
I
multiverse.
appreciate the smallness of DC.
Yeah, but also then they create more than 52 variants and then they
Surprise.
have to reboot. Yeah. Oh. So they just designate them random numbers. And the one that I don't live in the Marvel universe. I don't know why I included myself. The one that we follow mostly is 616. And the significance of the number, I don't know if there's a deeper significance, but the way it's always been explained to me is just it's a random number because the main universe that you follow is not terribly more special than any of the other universes. It just is the one that you follow, right? So the main line universe for the comics is 616, and everything outside of that is a variant universe to us, the reader.
Yeah.
You know,
So
somewhere in another
until-
universe, someone reads 1339 mostly.
Is that why
Yeah.
we don't have Miles Morales in this 616 universe because he's in the Ultimates?
Are you talking about in the comics?
Yeah,
No,
I mean even here too.
They actually they had a cataclysmic event, which I'm almost certain is called Cataclysm, and that destroyed the Ultimate Universe. They ended that label.
That's right. They brought
And
him
Miles
back.
Morales like survived by joining the
Yeah.
616 universe. So, Dan?
But before now, the MCU was Earth 199999.
Unofficially, or was that like logged somewhere?
That was unofficial.
Okay.
But I don't think anyone thought they were gonna label it 616 because that would mean it doesn't work alongside
Yeah.
the main.
This is
canon
the
universe
first
in the comics.
This is the first time that it's been identified as 616? No, right?
No, Mysterio says it in.
As
Far
a
from
As a joke, like
Yeah.
as a
As-
lie,
as like
as a lie.
as a
As a
bold-faced
cover
lie.
but he accidentally guessed the number right.
But he accidentally
That's
gets
what they're
it
gonna
right.
call back and like Mysterio is from another universe. He really is from another universe.
And I also have a problem with that flip-flopping where like they sold us on the multiverse and then it was all like a clever ruse and it was stupid. They kind of joke about
But you're gonna do it
how
anyway.
they'll believe anything and then they do it like terribly right away after. So he jokes about it being 616 and now it really is 616. So now this is the mainline universe in the same way that the comic mainline series is. How do we feel about that?
Could have been 617.
I think it should have been a different number.
I think they shouldn't have given it a number.
I agree.
No, that works too.
Because I don't think if I'm now, and I obviously haven't read every comic book that came out ever, especially in the past 20 years,
Bro, everything everywhere all at once, man. Are you serious? Come on. You did everything.
but I don't think that they like terribly like actually categorize them by number in the comics themselves. Right? Like,
I'm not sure.
yeah, I don't think I've never read anything where they refer to the timeline that they exist to by number. I think it should just be vague. I think that should be
Well,
referenced.
actually, I think in Spider-Verse they do.
They do? Okay.
I think they do
You read Spider-Verse?
call. Yeah.
I'm so sorry for you.
I
I'm just
know.
kidding. Was that good? It was terrible, right?
I don't know. I wasn't feeling it.
Okay, it's not terribly good. I think I read a few things here and there. Anyways, so I just think it should be vague. Like, and I think this is a longer conversation. It's an episode I've been wanting to do about continuity, and hopefully we get to it at some point. But it's just like,
Well, there's a lot more to add to it now.
yeah, I think there's space for continuity. I think there's also space for headcanon. And if you want it to be 1999 or whatever, or 616 or 619, booyaka booyaka, whatever, I think just let the reader or viewer just kind of come up with that on their own. But like once you start writing things down in stone, the problem with writing things down in stone is that A, they're permanent, and B, you can just break the stone. And I think you're destined to do both. Like just dig in your heels and also contradict it.
Nothing means anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everything is concrete until we break the concrete, And I don't know. Now the comics don't matter in relation to the movies. That's what I got out of it,
Yeah,
Because
that's also what I
they
got
supplant
from it.
them, Do you guys have any feelings about this or?
No, I feel the same way.
Okay. Why?
I think they should have just given it a different number. Oh, it just bothers me.
I also don't know who to believe because if Mysterio can say it and he's wrong, but Christine can say it, but she's not even from our universe. So like nobody in our universe calls it 616. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you're right. I don't think they should have labeled it at all.
So we're talking about alternate timelines. We're talking about creating realities, and we do that every day with our choices. A lot of choices were made here, and those choices are going to inform the choices they make from this point forward. Our lives are very similar. Every day you wake up and go to sleep, and you make tons of decisions throughout your day that echo and ripple on this planet and perhaps even in eternity, there may be realities beyond what we experience, but those realities are hypothetical. And our actions create and destroy realities every day. And we travel from multiverse to multiverse in our mind. And we live from moment to moment possible realities that we create and we destroy. And sometimes we linger on the lives we could have lived, the realities that exist somewhere in our mind. But if we focus on those past realities, we suffer the ability to decay into madness. We must look forward to the realities that we can build today, learn from the mistakes of our past, and create new worlds around us. Every day we make those decisions with what we do, with what we say, and what we experience. And as we experienced this film, we will continue to experience the stories that are told through us and the ones that we write every day. As we move from week to week, we invite you to keep writing new chapters in the multiverse of our lives and share those stories with us and those around you. In the meantime, keep moving through your multiverse and keep searching for more.